What's up, family? Man, I want to have a heart to heart with you guys today. Man, sacrifices will have to be made. Sacrifices will have to be made. You know, it's a trip because we look at Hollywood and we'll look at the music industry and we'll look at all these different entities and we'll think, man, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to have to sell my soul. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to give up this. I'm going to have to sacrifice a loved one. I'm going to have to do. We have all these things that we say. And when we get into those industries, you know, in order for you to make it, in order for you to become big, you got to sacrifice somebody. You know, you got to sell your soul. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. And I was sitting there one day and I was just talking to God and I was like, God, man, what the heck is, you know what I mean? Again, I was deep into the conspiracy theory stuff for a long time, for years. I'm sitting there having a heart-to-heart conversation with God and it's like, all right, God, talk to me, what's going on? And it's like, Elijah, no matter what you do in life, sacrifices are going to have to be made. Elijah, you don't have to go into Hollywood. You don't have to get into the music industry. You don't have to become an actor or entertainer to sell your soul in order to have to sacrifice somebody. Elijah, you have to understand, no matter what you do in life, no matter how great you are at life, outside of those entities, you're going to have to sacrifice something. See, so many of y'all don't want to sacrifice anything. So many of y'all want to just sit back and just receive grand things without having put in the work. So many of you think that you're entitled to just be somebody special without doing anything special. You want an extraordinary person without becoming an extraordinary person yourself. Somebody put that in the comments the other day, and I like, man, that hit me. It hit me, because it brought me back to this conversation I was having with God. In order to have an extraordinary person in your life, in order to get an extraordinary person in your life, you have to first become an extraordinary person. Sacrifices are going to have to be made. In order for you to become a king, you got to put in the work. You can't just inherit that. See, because the truth be told, your daddy wasn't a king. Your mama wasn't a queen. So in order for you to become a king, in order for you to become a queen, you got to put in the work. Sacrifice is going to have to be made. Right now, so many of us are struggling with, man, the pursuit of love while dealing with loneliness. We're in two states, the great majority of us, loneliness and love. Say it again. In order for you to go from loneliness to love, you got to make some sacrifices. You got to change your perspective. You got to grow the fuck up emotionally. You got to let go of some bullshit to go from a state of go from a state of loneliness to a state of love. You can't keep that same negative, toxic ass thinking. You see, when you look at a state of loneliness, man, that's depression. That's just, it's just toxic as fuck. It's negative as hell. I don't care how you describe it. I don't care what you say. Loneliness is a state of low vibration. You don't understand where you're at in life. You don't understand why you're there. Because you haven't put in the work. When you put in the work, you sacrifice your time and your energy to put in that work. You'll understand why you're in that state. And you'll be able to transition out of that state into a state of love. You can't be on both frequencies at the same time. You can't be a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, and talking about you're lonely. You could be a beacon of hope and beacon of love and then lower your vibration and go right back down to that beacon of loneliness. But you can't be simultaneously be at both places at the same time. You sacrifice something. See, you sacrifice something when you go from this beacon of hope, this beacon of love, this high vibration, and you go right back down here to this petty ass low vibration, this low frequency. You're sacrificing your joy, your peace. And you're going right back down here to the state of loneliness. You're giving up something. Catch that. You have to catch that. You're sacrificing something. What are you willing to sacrifice to have the love of your life? What are you willing to sacrifice in order to have joy and peace and happiness? See, in order to have that joy and that peace, you got to sacrifice that low bullshit, low frequency bullshit. In order to have that joy and peace, you got to sacrifice. You got to give up that judgmental nature, that critical nature, that lack mentality, that jealousy. There's a whole lot of stuff that you got to give up. You got to give up unforgiveness. You got to give up a whole bunch of crap in order to have that joy and that peace. You don't have joy and peace because you ain't willing to give up that crap. You're not willing to sacrifice, let go of all that toxic crap that holds you down. You're not. And that's why you have no joy. That's why you have no peace. That's why you're not a beacon of love. Because you refuse to let go of everything that keeps you from that vibration. It's simple as that. It's as simple as that. So many of you, you've lost the love of your life because you are holding on to toxic vibrations. You are holding on to toxic patterns of your past. You wouldn't let go of your ego. You wouldn't let go of your trauma. You wouldn't let go of all the crap that you thought you knew. You wouldn't get out of your comfort zone and grow beyond it. And so you had to sacrifice something. You had to let go of something. In order to stay there in that comfort zone, you're letting go of all this other stuff, all this beautiful stuff, all this joy and peace that God has for you. You're letting go of all the love and the great experiences that you're supposed to be having in life. You're sacrificing all of that to maintain that comfort zone, to maintain that status quo of what you've always known, of what you've always done. We got to grow up. We got to grow up. You can do what you want to do. It's your life. You know what I mean? Do you. But if you want some joy, you want some peace, you got to let go of some crap. You want a king, you want a queen, you got to let go of some crap. Many of you, you're holding on to toxic ass, low vibrating people. And you refuse to let them go. Oh, this is my family. I can never let my family go. And then, okay, stay right there in that low vibrating, fucked up frequency with your family. You're sacrificing joy and peace to maintain a relationship with some toxic ass, low vibrating people you call family? I hope it's worth it. I hope it's worth it for you. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're making sacrifices whether you know it or not. You are already making sacrifices. I hope it's worth it for you. We have to grow up. Man, I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.